There is a point that I was getting to, and I really made a really great video. But it's I make videos I don't put up on YouTube. I just make them like as rehearsals or certain ones I like, and I realize my messages sometimes are so controversial. It's not really controversial. I shouldn't say that. It's just that it's kind of sloppy, and I do a lot of profanity. I try not to say too many curse words because I know that it's not so much a matter because there's the police out there watching me and they're gonna, or YouTube people gonna snatch my video off. It's just the fact that it distracts from the message many times. Sometimes I will curse. I'm pretty sure in the future I probably will if it'll help enhance the message or get people's attention. And yeah, I'm not above doing that. I'm not above doing things to get attention. The bottom line is everybody who, well, not everybody, but most people who get on YouTube want to get a lot of hits. They want to get a lot of people viewing, and they want to get a lot of subscribers. So people come up with ploys. I'm kind of skeptical about both believers and non-believers in God. The whole theist versus atheist argument. I'm a skeptic of both sides. I'm skeptical on both sides. I know that's impossible, but I am. I'm not skeptical about belief in God. I actually have said before, I think on this video, on some of my videos, maybe I have a couple of times, or maybe just one time, I don't know. But I do believe in God. I believe in God. However, I'm skeptical of any claims on either side. I'm skeptical of anybody who claims to know that there is no God. And I'm skeptical of people who claim to know that there is a God. I'm a skeptic. That's simply a position I take. It's not a conclusion. And I make a distinction between a position one takes and a conclusion one reaches. I take the position of skepticism. I learned from David Hume. David Hume is somebody who I admire a lot, and I have learned a lot from him. I learned the power of skepticism. Because when you're skeptical, you question things. I question all arguments on that topic. Because I don't think you can prove that there's a God. I really don't believe anybody can prove that God exists. I really don't. I also don't believe that anybody can prove that God doesn't exist. I really believe that. I don't think you can prove that God doesn't exist. Now, I choose to believe in God. I choose to have faith in God. And I choose to live my life a certain way. And I consider the way I live my life is an expression of my faith in God. By being a generous person, for example. By being kind to people. By trying to improve myself constantly. Working toward actualizing my fullest potential. I feel like that is the best way in which I show my faith in God. Not by getting on a debate on YouTube and try to prove that God exists, because I can't. I know it would be ridiculous. You can't prove it scientifically, logically, philosophically, or any other kind of way. You either believe or you don't believe. It's really that simple. It's not even an issue to debate. You live a certain way. I would talk about God, and I'll say, I'm thankful to God for this, or I'm thankful to God for that. And I don't have to explain that to people, and I don't have to apologize for that. And if somebody's an atheist, you don't have to explain yourself or apologize. Just be what you are. Be what you are. What's going to happen to you when you die? I don't know. What's going to happen to me when I die? I don't know. And that's the truth. For me to run around trying to act like I got some scientific evidence to prove what's going to happen to me one way or the other, that's ridiculous. I think the whole argument, the theist versus atheist argument, I shouldn't say it's ridiculous. The first thought to come to my mind is say, oh, it's ridiculous. But actually, it's not a matter of being ridiculous. It's just that people do it to get a lot of views. And you're going to find fans all the time. There are people who believe, who are on the believer side. And if I talk belief stuff and I got proof and I found Jesus's, pinky finger somewhere in the hills in Mexico, yeah, I could say that. Or here's this book written by some guy who's in a crazy house, but he's, but he found Jesus's, I don't know, photograph or something. People can do that, or I could say, well, there is no Jesus, and here's the ontological, teleological, whatever illogical, because I don't even know these words. I just hear them. I don't even have a good dictionary. I just throw out some fancy words and confuse people. Like I was watching a video the other day that was just, it said a whole bunch of things I didn't understand. And, I'm ignorant about things. I even admit that. But, I'm not going to be so stupid as to sit there and try to convince people that I actually have some evidence one way or the other. Religion is a matter of faith. And so is atheism. You take a position. And that's it. What you cannot do, and in the spirit of David Hume, I challenge anybody to actually prove, and I'd make a challenge out to both sides, to the theists and the atheists. I put out this challenge. Prove that there is a God. Prove that there isn't. But until that, and I'm not going to even say, well, I'm going to, if the atheist can prove that there is no God, I'm going to become an atheist. That would be bullshit, because I actually wouldn't. See, I did use profanity. I'm not going to suddenly become an atheist. I'm just going to say, wow, that's interesting, and that's about all I'm going to say. I choose to have faith in God, and it really is a matter of choice. You choose, and you choose freely. See, I also learned from my other favorite philosopher, Jean-Paul Sartre, and I probably didn't even say that correctly, but I don't care. I believe, I really learned a lot from both of those philosophers, and I've actually had the opportunity, by the way, to go and visit, as you know in my other video, I visited the tomb of David Hume. I also went to France, to Paris, and visited the tomb of, it wasn't a tomb, the grave of Jean-Paul Sartre. So I have read their writings, and I have been heavily influenced by their writing, and both of them were atheists. And there are a lot of famous atheists who I actually like them for their writings, not because they're atheists. I don't really even care what they believed or what they didn't believe. It's their writings. I actually like Richard Dawkins. He has very interesting things to say. I don't take the position. I don't share his belief or lack thereof, but, he is somebody you can learn a lot from. And there are a lot of people who believe in God you can learn stuff from, too. And, and you can learn things. I like to learn. But I just don't think you can prove one way or the other that there is a God. And that's all I have to say about that. That's the thing I have to say. It's a message to the believers and non-believers. That I'm aware of the facts, that you all are just trying to get a lot of people to watch your videos. And that's the whole point. And I want a lot of people to watch mine, but at least I'm going to be honest about it, not pretend like I'm out there to show everybody the truth and prove the truth to people and expose the truth. No, I'm not here to expose anything. That's why I have my clothes on. So, just subscribe to my videos. It's right over here. And you're going to hear me talk more. That's all I have to say.